see I get smoked, nigga.
Work, nigga. Gang, B-I-B-O,
One double O, B-bro. Big B-bro on them gang shit, on a rocket, nigga. Became my blunt, bitch.
You're watching a master at work.
Smoke 'em like a BK, that's CG. On the range, still smoke on your OG. Tryna put a BK on TV.
Hey yo, what up squad? Welcome back to HOODROK Entertainment, realest, dopest, most active reaction channel on YouTube. Oh yeah, hell yeah. If you're smoking, blaze with your boy. Bro, we're gonna react to this, bro. We're back with another one of these dope fucking, I don't know if it's dope, we don't know yet. But yo, yeah, I hope so. And yo, back with our boy, you know what's up.
What's up, Bill?
Bro, this video was seen some by this dude's missus. So we, bro, better be far. But this is this is comparing prisons around the world. So I don't know. I'm guessing like they'd be comparing prisons to like Australia or like American prisons and shit like that. But I did a bit of time in jail. The homies did a bit of time in jail. So intrigued to see what's up with this. We're blazing too. So blaze up with your boy, bro. We're gonna try one of these again. One of those ones that we smoked in the other video. Go run the numbers up on there too. Shout out everyone for tapping into that shit. I seen all the numbers going up. I seen all the comments and shit.
Yeah, mate.
So yeah, fire. So bro, we're gonna get into this to see what's up. Is this the best quality? Like, it's in 1080p, so it must be.
When you think about prison, I bet most of you imagine endless iron bars, dark hallways, grim food, and an overwhelming sense of despair.
Where the fuck are they feeding you that, bro?
Surprisingly, not all prisons around the world are the same.
Yo, that's real shit too.
Yeah.
Like those prisons in Puerto Rico, Brazil and shit, right? Like Brazil,
While
Bali and
some serve
shit.
stomach-churning
Now
meals.
that, closer. Getting closer, like, you know what I mean?
You're gonna eat your cornbread.
Eat your corn. You go, my cornbread. No, you can have my cornbread.
Like this, others have a tasty and healthy-looking menu. And where this prison crams inmates
Holy
into every
shit,
available
bro.
inch of space, this one has private cells that look more like a hotel. With that, it's time to see for yourself what some of the worst and best prisons around the world really look like.
Get the fish and chips
Best
in the...
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, what the fuck is it, mate?
Yeah, what's with that fish? What are they having?
Prisons around the world really look like. Crowding. Around the world, more than a staggering 10.74 million people are currently incarcerated. That's about the same amount of people that make up the entire population of the Czech Republic. And with a figure that high, it's hardly surprising to learn that many prisons are bursting at the seams with convicted criminals.
Look at this
although there are some that are well over capacity, like those of Latin America. The official capacity of prisons in Colombia, for example, were built to hold almost 81,000 inmates, but the actual population is well in excess of 118,000.
30,000 more.
Bro, even 81,000 inmates is a lot, bro. Here in New Zealand, especially the prison here in Christchurch City where we're at, it holds 850 inmates. You know what I mean? And that even seems big when you're there.
In the most crammed prisons, 4-person cells are home to 8 or more prisoners, with new inmates forced to find room to sleep on floors, hallways, or even bathrooms. But just a short trek north in El Salvador, space is even more limited. With over 617 inmates for every 100,000 people in its population, the country boasts one of the largest for every 100...
He run in the unit. That's the dude did. That's the guy you want to know. You want to know this guy. You want to be his friend.
100,000 people in its population, the country boasts one of the largest prison population percentages in the world. It comes from the severe and successful crackdown that the country imposed on gang violence. Although, looking at their cramped prison conditions, it's not really worth
I ain't even going to that country for a holiday, bro. Imagine if you did something that you didn't realize was against the law and you end up getting locked up. Remember that program Banged Up Abroad?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, nah, fuck that, bro.
It's a couple dudes. That's
Backing
walking
about.
like.
Yeah,
The country
and it's
has the
against the
capacity
law.
to
You end
house
up in
just
no
over
jail.
18,000 criminals, but the shocking system currently holds more than 38,000 inmates. At over double capacity, seriously unsanitary conditions and unbearable heat claim the lives of many inmates. And that was before the coronavirus pandemic. Though even
Oh,
El
look, the
Salvador's
Mara 18. So you can see here, they got the Mara 18 boys in jail. Those are the dudes that beef with the MS-13s. I think Mara, MS stands for Mara Salvatrucha. And you got the Mara 18, you got the 18th Street boys, but damn, bro. Imagine doing time in cells like that. Now that's a cage. That's what you call a real cage, bro. Like, you ain't even playing around
prisons pale in comparison to Manila City Jail, famously known as the most crowded jail in the world. It was built to incarcerate a mere 1,100 inmates, but the country's war on drugs saw that figure rise to a bar-busting 6,300. That's almost 600% capacity. And it means that in a single cell designed for 170 inmates to sleep in, a mind-blowing 700 of them dream of freedom. Ideally, the country's prison guidelines state that there should be one guard for every 7 inmates to keep the peace. But that ratio looks more like one guard for every 200.
You're fucked. I don't want to job.
Yeah, the prisoners run that shit.
You better be paying these guards some money, you know what I mean?
Oh, I do not envy that guy's job. While that will make plenty of Americans think twice before misbehaving abroad, the conditions back home aren't much better. With over 2 million people behind bars, the United States boasts the highest prison population on Earth. And while they just about have the resources to house them all, it's not exactly a spacious arrangement, with their prison capacity at a snug 99.8%. While all inmates get a bed, privacy in the most populated state penitentiaries, like California's San Quentin Prison, looks like an extremely rare commodity. Back in the 2000s, when the U.S. prisons were at their most overcrowded, they had to invest in serious space-saving measures. They crammed inmates into penitentiary gymnasiums, classrooms, and even clinics, and made them sleep on triple-stack bunk beds. Just imagine rolling over in your bed and falling off the top of one of those.
Is that all you're worried about?
But not every
You fucking done it again.
Hey, this nigga, of all the stuff that's in jail, this is the shit that he's worried about. Falling out of your bed at a high thing. He's like, just imagine falling out of your bed. Imagine getting stabbed, motherfucker. Like, fuck.
If that's all you gotta worry about, you're good.
Yeah, you're good. If all you're gonna worry about is falling out of your bunk, I'm pretty sure you're doing a good leg. You know what I mean? Just like this blunt. Damn. Hey?
Prison in the world is crammed to the rafters, as you can see from the empty prisons of the Netherlands. Since 2004, the Dutch have miraculously more than halved their prison population, thanks to the introduction of alternative sentencing programs. Dutch criminology researchers raised valid questions about how effective its prisons were at reducing crime. After sharing evidence that community service and electronic monitoring were in fact more effective at reducing crime, fewer offenders were sent to prison. As such, the whole of the Netherlands now has a prison population estimated around just 10,000, meaning it doesn't have enough inmates to fill.
Yeah, basically what this dude said. We have the same thing here. So basically, before you get into jail, they'll try all the other shit on you. They'll try give you community work. They'll try give you all these things that we call community-based sentences. So you'll get, community work. You'll get some fines. You might get this thing that we call community detention, where, home detention. You just call it house arrest. You might get that for a few months. They'll try all that shit before they get sent to prison. Unless you're like me, I didn't get all that. I just got sent to jail straight away.
Don't collect $200.
Yeah, I just went straight to jail. I was only 15, so, that They tried all the juvenile detention things, but
fill
that shit
all of
don't
its
work,
prisons.
Yeah.
But instead
Once
of
you fuck up
knocking
enough,
them
you
down,
fuck up. Yeah, that's
many
it.
have been repurposed into swanky-looking hotels. The rooms may have been upgraded, but the cell doors and steel walkways haven't been touched. As luxurious as it looks, I'm not sure I'd be able to get 40 winks in this clink.
What do you mean? Why not?
Food.
I was a
I'd be
Fury
able to
prison.
get
I hear,
haven't
like,
been
gay guys
touched.
go here.
Rooms may have been upgraded, but the cell doors and steel wank of its prisons. But instead of
That is a
knocking them down,
dope-looking
many
jail.
have been repurposed into swanky-looking hotels.
Oh, it's a
The rooms
hotel.
may have been upgraded, but the
I see.
cell doors and steel walkways
Oh, it's a
haven't been
hotel.
touched.
Oh,
As
okay.
luxurious as it looks, I'm not sure I'd be able to get 40 winks in this
Yeah, I
clink.
don't think I'd go there. How about now?
Why the fuck would you? Why would you pay money to go to a prison cell? You don't need to pay to do that, bro. You can actually go there if you want.
Fuck.
You've probably heard plenty of horror stories about the perils of prison food. From being impossibly bland to pitiful portion
Yeah, not too
sizes, going behind bars is no cakewalk. And
That's
like
not
the
wrong.
UK
Yeah, that's not
wasn't
wrong.
known for its terrible take on cuisine already, what
That's what you call a bread sandwich? So what do you mean? What's in a bread sandwich? You put bread in between two slices of bread?
I was about to say, what the fuck is that?
It's called a bread sandwich.
one prison in Warrington managed to make it worse. Back in 2019, an inmate from Her Majesty's Prison Risley took photos of his food using a camera phone and sent them out to the press. The fact that he'd gotten hold of a phone in prison was fairly disturbing, but it wasn't as bad as the state of the food on his was fairly disturbing.
Look at Simon Cowell's face. It's peas and shit. It's beans. It's beans. It's supposed to be beans, and that's supposed to be a bit of pizza, I think.
I was going to say, is that like a bit of pizza?
But it wasn't as bad as the state of the food on his plate. Baked beans on plain pasta, soggy fish on fries, lashings of liver, and whatever this ungodly combination
I don't know
is,
what the hell
painted
that
a
is.
pretty bleak
That
picture
scares
of
me.
British prison cuisine. But in the UK, this painted
Yeah, I
a
don't know
pretty
about that, eh?
bleak
Now,
Slop.
on the top right, I was about to say,
That's our slop.
we get that on the top right. You get that like twice a week. You get that twice a week here in New Zealand, bro. Usually on a Monday and shit, like a Wednesday. But I don't know what the fuck the rest of this shit is, bro.
Our fish, I have fucking cardboard fucking
Oh,
shit.
yeah, but that looks 10 times worse. Look at that sauce.
picture of British prison cuisine. But in the UK, that food allowance per person per day is just over £2, about $2.70. And for that, prisoners are supposedly offered 3 square meals with a choice of fresh fruit and vegetables. I don't know if the Brits know this, but fries, sadly, don't count as one of your 5 a day. And yet, over the other side of
That's
the world in
insane, bro.
Japan, a standard prison meal couldn't look any healthier. Here, the incarcerated eat whole grain barley mixed with rice, vegetable dishes, miso soup, and
Damn.
nutrient-rich proteins like whole grilled fish. These healthy and delicious-looking meals stem from Japan's incredibly low crime rate and small prison population, which is just 39 out of every 100,000 citizens. With
That's
fewer
feet
mouths to
fuckle.
feed, this means more resources can be diverted to keeping prisoners healthy and focused on reforming their choices. Though there's no pleasing some inmates, as complaints
Yeah,
have
look at me.
arisen about the quality of the prison's curry, underheated
We get that.
food, and elderly inmates being forced to peel their own oranges. Oh, God knows what they'd think if they had to swap places with British inmates for a day. Now, contrary to popular
you
belief,
fucks.
Russian prisons don't just serve soup or borscht. Although what they do serve instead doesn't sound much better.
So
For a
fucked up
start,
shit.
solid food is most definitely on the menu, though usually in the form of a bland porridge, cheap bread, unseasoned meat, and vegetables. While it sounds basic, there's plenty of it, with each prisoner reportedly receiving over 3,000 calories a day,
Shit,
all of which
damn.
comes to just 64 rubles, about $1.17. Though it's hardly breaking the bank, Russian authorities have been trying to find ways to make their meals even cheaper. Prisoners have been encouraged to produce their own food in small agricultural bubbles, allowing them to effectively farm their own meals, including
Free
meat,
labor, right?
milk, and
Right.
fish. But if these countries show the good
don't wanna go to
and
Russian
bad
jail
of prison
now.
food,
Well,
then
we
the
all keep
US
farming.
really
Yeah, we
brings
go
the
down to
ugly.
farms and shit.
Because jail and prison food is set at a state level, the quality varies wildly. Take, for instance, a typical breakfast and dinner in Georgia's Gordon County Jail. At
Not bad.
$1.77 per meal,
Better than
inmates
ours.
receive around 20
Way better than ours. Is that your breakfast? That's much better than our shit.
Okay, yeah, that's all good.
And why has he got his porridge? Why has he got his mashed potatoes in the middle of his porridge? I don't know if that's what it is, but bro, that's 10 times better than our breakfast, bro. Way better.
My
Like,
fuck gives a coffee.
like way better.
We only get tea.
Not just is that what you're bitching about? You get fucking 3 pieces of toast and a little bowl of cereal. That's it. That's all you get in this country, bro.
2,800 calories per day, complete with fruit juice and cereal for breakfast, cornbread and beans for dinner, and even cake for dessert. Although there's no lunch served in between, so to get all those
Oh,
calories in
shit.
such tiny trays, those meals are probably very sugary
But-
and fatty.
But I guarantee you, the canteen you'll get to buy a lot of shit.
Yeah, they'll have the
Yeah.
main buy.
So you can your lunch you get to make your own. Because I've seen videos of them making burritos and shit in there.
yeah, hard.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I've seen them making burritos in this for lunch and shit. So
If you know how to cook some shit.
Over in Idaho,
that's
the
it.
Department of
That's it.
Corrections has a slightly healthier looking approach. Though each meal served costs just $1, the dietary services
Damn.
of the penitentiary
Where the fuck is this one? They say this is the States.
my daughters would be all over that. They're vegetarians. My daughters are vegetarians. So they'd be all over that shit.
tries to incorporate healthier options, like salads, fresh fruit, and vegetables into prisoners' diets. But it doesn't take away from the pancakes, tacos, and spaghetti they're serving up as well. Looks like Idaho
stop
is the
that.
way to go.
Tacos,
Now,
bro.
Alabama, on the other hand,
You know how much we pay for a taco?
Pancakes and shit in the morning.
Shit. Sign me up. Shit, bro.
couldn't look less appealing
Cereal,
if it tried.
fucking-
Back in 2009,
Oh,
breakfasts
shit.
were a measly affair of half an egg, oatmeal, and a slice of bread. Lunch was 2 bologna sandwiches and a packet of chips, and
That's not
dinner
bad.
was just beans, some kind of meat, and yet more bread. It's
Six, three,
hardly
bread,
surprising
bread,
that's
flat
all
filling. I
inmates
haven't even
got,
seen one.
seeing
That's it.
as each
Yeah.
meal cost a staggeringly low 58 cents. Although, considering the prison chief at the time was caught pocketing
He looks like a cop to the motherfucker. That's definitely a cop. Like, I don't care what you wear. You can dress in a clown suit, nigga. You are a cop, bro.
$200,000 of the food budget for himself? It's a miracle Alabama's prisoners got to eat it all. But somehow it gets much, much worse. In 2011, Texas cut $2.8 million out of its allotment for prison meals to make up for a budget shortfall. This
2.8
involved a
million.
lot of substituting, like swapping milk for powdered milk, buns with white bread, and feeding
don't want
inmates
that.
just twice a day at the weekends. And since lockdown, it's only gotten worse. Instead of gathering inmates in a cafeteria, they're each given a single paper bag containing all their food for the day. According to the inmates' reports, this can be as little as 3 sandwiches, cereal, and some corn dogs. Is anyone else's stomach rumbling just thinking about that? Well, they're not the only ones going
it's
hungry.
being-
Back in
oh, shit.
2017,
That's bad,
Alima
dude.
Delic posted this tweet showcasing the tray of food she received at a jail in Florida. I'm not sure what looks worse, the sinister slop or the graying green beans. Were these guys trying to compete with Firefest to create the worst looking meal on the planet? But if that wasn't enough to make you evaluate your own life choices,
Yeah, the taste
take a
machine.
look at what they serve the inmates across the US who really misbehave. This grim brick of food is a special management meal, which
Do you know what I'm guessing it's got in it?
Everything they need meshed up.
Your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner, bro.
Yeah.
Like all your shit, you know what I mean?
All your one needs in one meal.
And one, like a biscuit. Like, nah.
Which is a fancy way of saying punishment food. But more famously, it's known as the prison loaf. It's a tasteless mash of vegetables and starch that provides seriously disobedient inmates with all the nutrients they need 3 times a day, assuming they can keep it down. That loaf may have been unappealing, but you know what does look tasty? Those like and subscribe buttons. Why not
Those
treat
like and
yourself and
subscribe
hit both of them,
Bit of
along with that
sauce.
delectable notification
Switch
bell.
them up,
Nice.
bit of
Now,
mayonnaise.
where was I?
You know what I mean?
Cells.
Fry
Most
it
of you
up in the
probably
toaster
assume
machine or
that
something.
all prison cells look the same, with bars, bunks, and terrifyingly exposed
Now, in New Zealand, we've still got these cells here. They're generally used up in Paremurumu prison up in Maxi. So, I mean, I'm not too sure if they still use them, to be honest, because last time I was up there, one of the new wings that had just been built had newer type cells, but these are the cells that I was used to using when I first come to prison, but most of the jails in New Zealand have changed and have upgraded all this shit. But I remember the bars
Though
and shit,
they do differ around the world, in the US, this is exactly toilets. Though they do
So,
That's what house bases of the
Yep.
table.
so pretty much, now this one here.
Yeah.
So pretty much down here on the left and the right, these two at the bottom, these are genuinely what our cells look like today. The ones on the right will usually be the fucking shithole units that you go to with all the gang members and shit. And the ones on the left are usually for just what your good units will look like. You know, the units where people don't fucking tag all over the shit, ruin everything, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, the ones on the right usually where I spent my time.
differ around the world, in the US, this
Good
is
shit, they're good
exactly
shit.
what new inmates
Look.
can expect. For those awaiting trial in the
Even
state
those
of New
bunk
York,
ones.
a cell in
Had
the
some,
famous
there's still
Rikers
some-
Island
There we go. A lot of prisons in New Zealand look like that.
jail offers none of the comforts of home. In the general population, these tiny
A lot of
breeze
prisons
block
look like
rooms
that.
are made for one.
So that's Rafferty unit. Bro, that's exactly what it looks like, my G. Rafferty unit looks exactly like this. Nothing different really, bro. Except I don't know what the fuck this is on the wall here. But nothing different, bro. Even right to the windows, it looks the same. Because usually you look at your windows in Rafferty unit, if you're upstairs, you can see you can see the roof. And I remember, here's a quick story. I remember sitting there one day, I had my headphones on, and I was writing lyrics, bro. Sitting at my desk writing lyrics. And as the song was ending, I could hear all this banging. I could hear all this fucking banging on the doors and shit. So I fucking take my headphones off and I could hear this, yeah. And I heard these footsteps running along the roof. So I look out my window to see who it is. And my nigga comes running up to the window and bangs on my window from the roof side.
Nah.
He's like, bang, bang, bang. Nigga, I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, nigga, I'm out. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like,
Get out there.
bro, my nigga. And he splits, bro, he gets it. He was going for, he got caught like 2 months later, but shout out Irish. Shout out my boy Irish. Bro, he this is what he did, bro. He knocks himself out, bro. He jumps off the roof by the caretaker's shed and shit, right? It's out by the track.
Yep.
It's out by the track. And he breaks into the caretaker's shed, steals the ladder that they use to fix the razor wire on the fences, right? Climbs up the ladder, jumps the fence, but lands fucking face first on the ground and knocks himself out. Now, they only notice all this when they look at the camera footage back. He'd been lying there for like 3 minutes.
Just out cold.
Out, bro. He'd been lying there for like 3 minutes.
Shit, no,
Then it shows him slowly moving, like a Russian on one of those videos.
Yeah.
Then it shows him slowly moving. Nigga gets up, splits it over to Ruapuna racetrack, where the racetrack is, and jacks a car, bro.
Yeah.
Steals a car, drives to Picton, jumps on the boat, You know what I mean?
Goes,
And
yeah.
goes back home to Auckland. Now, that's why you got caught, because you went home. Like, nigga.
One
You know what I
inmate
mean?
each and contain a toilet, a sink, a bed, and a heavily barred window. It's barely the bare necessities, but at least those in the general population can socialize with other inmates. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for those in supermax prisons like AdMax Florence, Colorado,
fucking-
because
you don't
these
get
prisons
shit.
are designed to hold some of the most dangerous criminals in America. Each inmate is assigned a single 7 by 12 foot room with an immovable bed, stool, and desk, all made out of concrete. They also have a shower set on a timer to prevent inmates flooding their cell, and a toilet with an inbuilt sink. It's a lot to cram in, but it's specially designed to prevent moving the prisoners around the facility unnecessarily. Because
they
the
should
more
be, they
they
should
move
would.
around the
So that's
penitentiary, the more they get to know its layout, which might prompt them to hatch an escape plan. As such, the vast majority of the
One
400
chance,
prisoners held here are in solitary confinement for up to 23 hours a day. But it could be so much worse, as proven by the existence of Russia's Black Dolphin facility. This federal penal colony
yeah,
houses
Russia's like-
more than around 700 of Russia's
I knew
most
it'd come off
dangerous
for a
criminals. Inmates are held in cells that have thick steel doors as well as bars separating the living space from the windows and the door. This effectively creates a cell within a cell, preventing them from rushing the guards at the doors or trying to escape through a window. And as an ironically named
I got it.
ground
I
rule,
get you.
none of these cells are located on the ground floor.
So they got like,
You get out of
when
there.
you walk in,
Yeah.
when you open the cell to walk in, it's like the holding cell at the courthouse.
Yeah, you gotta walk and again.
You walk in and then you gotta walk in again to get into the actual cell. Yeah, but
Which stops any prisoners from tunneling out of their life sentences. When they are permitted to leave their cells, they're bent over double by the guards, handcuffed, and frighteningly frog-marched out so that
Right.
they can't really see where they're going.
So that
This
happens when
is
you
yet
get in a
another
fight here
precaution
in
to
jail.
prevent prisoners from mentally
Frog-march
mapping the
you out.
layout
Yeah,
of
you're
the
up and
facility. Mother Russia really doesn't play around when it comes to national security. But not every maximum security prison insists on constant discomfort. Over in Norway, prisoners held in Skien prison have comparatively lavish-looking cells, complete with wooden furniture, curtains, ensuite bathrooms, and even
Yo, my
electrical
Norwegians.
output.
Yeah.
yo, my dude's up in Norway.
My bad, I'll come and do some crime.
What's up with this, bro? Like, look at your shower and shit. Look at your bathroom. You got tiles and shit.
It's a hotel room.
Like, look at this, bro.
Pablo would have stayed there.
Yo, we got a lot of subs from Norway. We got a lot of subs from Norway, Sweden, Denmark. You know, that's all around the states. The Vikings, Viking niggas are Norwegian, from Norway, from Sweden, from Denmark.
Yeah.
That's where the Vikings are from. It's these dudes. Why is your Viking shit? Why do you have to have it so flash, bro? Like, I thought y'all niggas was rough.
For TV and game
Yeah,
consoles.
2-ply toilet paper.
Cushy as it looks, prisoners in solitary confinement here are still locked away behind thick steel doors for up to 23 hours a day. But they're given DVDs and games to play, along with plenty of reading material.
Y'all got PlayStation? Y'all get a PlayStation?
Do you get a mic? Like, can you talk about motherfuckers?
Bro, I don't need to go nowhere, bro. You give me Call of Duty? You give me Call of Duty?
8-9 hours a day, easy.
I'll do time. Yo, give me the gun. I'll pull up.
It almost makes the idea of serving a life sentence sound tolerable. Many start
Hey,
off
shit.
in high security
Hey, I didn't
prisons
say
like
shit.
Skien and are gradually transferred
Look
to
at this
lower
inmate, looks happy as shit. Look at this dude. But is that a cell?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
So, too comfortable, eh? Hey, hold it. Hold my cell, I'll be back in a couple of weeks.
Mind you though, my cell didn't look too bad.
After a
They
few
start
years
off
being
in
here,
high
so
security
you start
prisons
to
like
expect
Oh
Skien
yeah,
and
but
are
look at the door that, bro, but nah, check
sounds
the cell
tolerable.
door.
Many start off in high security prisons
Check the cell door.
Oh, no shit. Knock for coming, please.
It's made out of wood, bro. It's made out of wood, Jake. Like, you got all these concrete walls, you can see, but the door's made out of wood.
like skiing and are gradually transferred to lower security
Look at the door. It's not even tough wood.
institutions with more
Mind you, that'd be the huts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
freedom and even better looking cells, one of which is Halden, a
Oh,
high
how?
security prison where inmates have private rooms complete with flat
What
screen
the
TV.
Hold up. I want to see what this gangster looks like. Oh, bro. Oh, bro, you don't even supposed to be in this unit. Yo, you meant to be in the trenches, bro. What are you doing in this unit, bro? Damn, bro. Damn, bro.
Is that a key card for your room? Like,
Is that a staff card? Is that right? What's going on?
right.
Bro.
Couple pairs of shoes, I see. Yeah.
Nah, but I'm like tripping out because if this is, hey, look, I ain't judging no book by its cover, bro, but he looks like the type of dude that you'd see on the main line and mainstream, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these cells don't look like mainstream cells. That's all I'm saying. Like, but hey, if that's how your cells actually look, then shit.
I've got food.
Oh, it's P119 day.
Yeah,
That's why it's on the bed. That's why it's on the bed, bro.
Yeah.
That's what people checked on the bed because they own it.
Yeah, I was just saying.
They're paying their bills.
He's really put us away.
Yeah, they're paying their bills, bro. You know what it is. Out there on the
And
hustle.
bridges. They can even borrow musical instruments to learn and play at their leisure. Though making convicted criminals this comfortable makes many people bristle in anger, Norway defends the idea that treating prisoners humanely is the key to reintroducing them to
Hey.
society.
And apparently, in countries like Norway and Denmark, they have the lowest percentage of returning inmates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it must work. And over in Denmark and shit, all the inmates work. Like everyone. So that when you go back into society, you have
You're
that.
good to go back in.
Yeah, bro. You're used to that
routine.
routine of getting up early and going to work and shit. You know what I mean?
And despite what you may think, it seems to work. Norway has a repeat offense rate of just 20%.
I just
That's
sit
one of the lowest recidivism rates in the world. Who
Look at
knew
it.
A few creature comforts could help put us.
New Zealand, take note, bro. Hook us up. Hook us up.
I have a TV. Well, you get TV.
I'll be happy to have that chair. But look at the seat. Look at this pinboard and shit, bro. Like, come on, bro. You got curtains and shit like that. You know what I mean?
How many pillows do you got?
You doubled up on the mattresses, nigga.
Stop decline.
Oh shit. He looks like. Look. He looks like he's doubled up on the mattresses.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
he's
definitely.
got to, yeah,
That's
he's
nearly a triple. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, he looked happy. You didn't even have to put that happy face in front of us, dude. Oh shit.
To 23 hours a day.
My bad.
The very idea of being locked in a tiny cell for up to 23 hours a day is enough to make even the laziest people
Yeah.
restless.
Yes,
Fortunately, the United Nations has decreed that prisoners should be given at least 1 hour of exercise outside, weather permitting, every day. In California,
I didn't realize that was an international law.
Yeah, they had to.
Yeah, I knew it was a national law. I knew they did it in our country. But I thought it was like, our country. I didn't realize that the United Nations made it that motherfucker in every country you got to do that. I just thought there was national law here in New Zealand because, you know what I mean?
California,
I'm
where
usually
the
subject
weather is
to that.
almost always glorious, inmates are usually let outside into concrete yards, separated by 2 layers of chicken fencing and topped with barbed wire. And in case
standard.
inmates ever consider making a run for it,
Your
observation
game.
towers are posted nearby, holding guards that are armed to the teeth with automatic weapons. Though it'd be a dumb idea to try and scurry up the fence with all that firepower
wire,
waiting
easy.
above,
Razor
it would
one,
certainly
nah.
get your heart rate up. With all sense of escape out of their minds, prisoners are free to do laps, play basketball, or use some of the stationary equipment for workouts like chin-ups and boxing. But over in Brazil, prison yards are often set up to let inmates indulge in the nation's favorite sport, soccer. While the pitches occasionally double up as space for drying laundry, facilities like this prison in Manaus has at least 3 separate concrete pitches for inmates to kick a ball around on. I wonder if the guards do a little Mexican wave every time they score a goal. While team sports are a great way
That's
to
a
boost
lame one,
morale,
Jay.
the group exercises they do in Thailand look a lot more like torture. Despite all those strenuous-looking positions in the baking hot sun, these inmates are actually engaging in a little yoga. For both male and female inmates, the slow-moving, far-stretching exercise helps prisoners improve their physical and mental health.
with the
But when
girls?
it comes to
Are
group
you doing
exercise,
yoga with
the
the-
inmates that really steal the show are those from the Filipino Cebu Provincial Detention and Rehabilitation
damn,
Center.
look at
The
them.
prison rose to fame back in 2007, when a video of hundreds of inmates performing a choreographed dance routine to Michael Jackson's Thriller went
Shit.
viral.
Ah,
It turned
no
out
shit.
that government security advisor Byron Garcia introduced the program for inmates to get an hour of exercise each day. And they didn't stop at Thriller. Up to 1,500
Holy
inmates
shit.
participated in a fantastic variety of different routines.
Happy jail.
From the power stance pulling ballad of Queen's Radio Gaga
I come back, yeah, I love this. Yeah, I don't want to leave.
Look. Happy jail, bro.
variety of different routines, from the power stance pulling ballad of Queen's Radio Gaga to the hilarious dress-up dynamo of Sister Act's Hail Holy
Holy
Queen.
shit.
The dance program was a huge hit and even inspired
No.
a film.
To have a whole prison involved in this, you gotta have all the gangs get along.
I was going to say, what happens if you say no? So, nah, I don't want to do it today.
Nah, like this,
Shh, you're back in
like
line.
this, Crips. We need all the Crips down in that corner. You gotta stay away from the. We're gonna put the Bloods. We'll put them on the L. You have the Bloods on the L.
Yeah.
Crips will be on the J.
We'll just chuck the rest in the middle.
Yeah, put the Blacks on the A's.
Yeah, separate them.
Yeah.
You know, I think we got it. Now.
Yeah, the H, Mongol Mob. Check them on the H.
Okay, now everyone down.
Called Dance of the Steel Bars.
Now we
Though
can't have the Crips and the Bloods doing the same part.
Yeah, you know how we spin that circle with our crossing paths and a couple have been stabbed, so we're just not going to do the circle,
Yeah.
we're just half circle it.
Half circle stand up. This is sick.
not all prison exercise is so inspiring.
Look at
Back
this
in the
shit.
terrifying confines of Russia's previously mentioned Black Dolphin prison, some inmates report being left in their cells for a full 24 hours a day. But on
You
the
shouldn't have played them, nigga.
yeah. You pissed her off.
You look like me, bro. You look like me. Like,
inmates report
fuck.
being left
I
in
knew I
their
shouldn't have done
cells
that.
for a full 24
Why the fuck? Why do I do that for? Like, you know that
hours a
nigga.
day. But on the off chance that they are
Yeah,
let
fuck
out,
yeah.
they're
No
given
fucking
90
go to the
minutes to
track.
walk around a tiny, bare concrete yard. Though they won't get to feel the sun on their faces,
Funny how you
as
always get
each
the dudes
yard
on
is
OPs
built beneath
and
a
try and
solid
sneak to the-
roof with
to the
walkways
track.
above so that guards can
library.
watch their every move.
Until you get to the door,
After
yeah.
seeing that, I'm never complaining
not.
about going to the gym ever again.
What the fuck?
Work. But not every inmate is condemned to spend
fucking hell.
years just
Where's
pacing
his
behind
bed? Oh,
their
is that his
cell
bed?
walls. Jobs can
Is
be
it
offered
that way?
or enforced years just pacing
Is it that way?
You get, how would you lay like legs up and say?
behind their cell walls. Jobs can
Yeah, sleep sitting up in that cell. What the fuck?
be offered or enforced to make use of all the free time detainees have on their hands. For example, in the USA, the Department of Corrections directs certain facility jobs that can be done by the inmates, such as laundry, maintenance, and food service. They also offer jobs for state-owned businesses, producing
Do it.
goods like garments and furniture.
Good
While the
sector as
U.S.
well.
Constitution claims that working as part of a prison sentence isn't technically slavery, some states offer the prisoners wages to keep everything above board. Inmates can use this money to buy extra food from the prison commissary or phone calls to their loved ones.
Standard.
In California, a well-paying facility job can see prisoners earn just 37 cents per hour. That really doesn't sound like much, but
It's more than you get paid here. You get paid like 25 cents an hour.
Yeah, it's fucked day. Like,
Yeah, but-
whole weekend it's like.
But when it comes to people on my 9 day, you're like, yeah, boy, falling on your shit. Like, I get it.
Save up 2 weeks so you get a phone card.
I mean, it's cheap labor for the government, you know what I mean? It's bullshit, but yeah.
depending on the
It's what it is,
facility,
bro.
it can be as little
Don't
as
do the
8
crime if you can't
cents
do the
per
time,
hour.
my nigga.
So for working 6 hours, prisoners can earn as much as $2.22 or as little as 48 cents a day. Over in Idaho, that
know
wage
about
gets a little
48 cents
better,
a day.
with top-end facilities
Yeah,
offering 95
kumara,
cents
sweet
per hour,
potatoes.
while Alaska
Shit.
can pay up to $1.25. But in Alabama, Georgia, and Arkansas, prisoners can kiss their paycheck goodbye, as most prisons in these states don't offer wages at all. Across the pond in the UK, it doesn't get much better. Though government-owned, the jobs available vary from prison to prison and include working in call centers, DHL parcel distribution, and industrial cleaning. But for all that,
there's this jail, bro, that I heard about, right? I watched this video on YouTube of this jail, and your family have to pay, like I think it's in Bali, and the more your family pay, the better you get. Oh, it's not in Bali. It's not in Bali. It's in Venezuela. And if you pay money, you get moved to a safer part.
Oh, yeah.
The less money you have, fuck, bro. And I've seen the part where if you got no money, where you get put. And it's just like, nah, bro. I'm like, nah, nigga, that's insane, bro. And guns, drugs, there niggas just sitting there smoking off tinfoil on that and just sleeping on dirt, going through rubbish because the city's rubbish gets dropped off there.
Oh, nice.
The city's rubbish gets dropped off there and the inmates go through the rubbish, and plastic bottles are like gold because you've got to supply your own cups and your own plates.
Oh, no shit.
And shit like that. And they're cutting these bottles into bowls and shit. Using the bottoms as bowls, using the tops with the lids on them as drinking things.
But you could sell all that shit, couldn't you?
And they're selling them. Yeah, bro. And they're selling bottles and shit. That's down in the poor bit. And then you pay a bit of money. If your family can pay a bit of money once a month, you get put in a bit where you've got to sell and shit. And if you pay a bit more, you go to a bit where it's literally cut off. You don't see none of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just cut off. Like
you're
inside. You're indoors. You know what I mean? And you're in a facility. And you don't see any of that. But it's right outside that door. Like, you know what I mean? It's right out that door. And if your family don't pay that month, they'll open that door.
You're out.
And you're walking out there, bro. And it's insane, bro.
She said it'll be in the bar, straight up.
And it's run by the gangs, bro. But the gangs inside that, this is who you pay your money to. The gang that runs the prison. You don't pay it to the fucking guards. You pay, your family pay the gang. And the gang give you these cells and shit. And when you go out into the slums, you got to deal with the young fucking soldiers from the gang. They're the ones standing every nigga over and that are coming in that can't pay. They're taking your shit off you straight away. Foreigners whose families can't, you know, immediately come up with money. You're getting your shoes and shit jacked. Maybe 2 weeks later, your family can come up with the shit and you can be moved. But for the 2 weeks, you down there with the sharks, bro. I was like, bro, fuck, that's insane, bro.
Prisoners can be paid a meager minimum weekly wage of just £4, which is a little over $5. Even though it's not a lot, most inmates budget their earnings and spend it on contacting their family, renting TVs, and buying items from their prison commissary. While they're not exactly earning big bucks, at least they have a choice in whether or not they want to work, which is more than can be said for China. Forced labor in the country's detention centers is a common occurrence, with inmates producing goods ranging from Christmas decorations to artificial flowers and footwear.
I was about to say, to those Air Force Ones you're wearing.
Come from?
It's ranging from Christmas decorations to artificial flowers and footwear.
Got a pair of Jordans. Got a pair of Jordan 1s. And it's like, nigga, it ain't that far from the truth.
But failure to meet hard-to-reach quotas doesn't mean prisoners get fired. Instead, they're punished by being denied food and water.
I was gonna say, you're punished. Now you gotta make schlessinges. You know, you're being moved from the Jordan department.
Yeah.
And some even shackled for days on end.
Oh,
and it's
shit.
the same story over in North Korea, except, obviously, worse. Defectors from this secretive state have revealed that prisoners are often worked to the bone.
Bro, and this is probably going to be generous on North Korea's jails, bro. There's probably a
They
lot.
wouldn't even know half of it. They wouldn't even get the information out.
Facts, bro. That's right. The information that comes out of North Korea is what they want to come out. So, I mean, the shit that probably goes on in those jails in North Korea, bro, you wouldn't want
Under the banner of forced labor. A typical day for the once missionary prisoner Kenneth Bay revealed inmates were forced into hard labor from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. 6 days a week. Demanding tasks like carrying rocks and shoveling coal saw him lose a staggering 60 pounds in his 2-year captivity. Although he was lucky, as some prisoners were even forced to dig their own graves. As bad as that is, many of you might be expecting Russia's Black Dolphin prison to top the list of barbaric working conditions. But despite the brutal rules, some prisoners are actually given the choice of where they'd like to work in the confines of the facility. This can be in the wood shop or on the sewing machines making garments. Like the USA and UK, their work is rewarded with wages. They too can buy extra items or food from the prison, and can even pay compensation to their victims. But seeing as some of these inmates are mass murderers, terrorists, and even cannibals, I think they'll be working for quite some time to really pay for what they've done.
That nigga didn't look happy.
All the prisons be empty anyway.
Prisons
That'd be what
will
they
pay
were
for what
fighting.
they
Yeah. Does that nigga look happy? Does he look like he is happy? I don't fucking know, nigga. Ain't going to jail in Russia.
Though prisons lock their inmates away, these fearsome institutions can actually help unlock a variety of learning potential. With very little else to do, many prisons offer courses and classes to aid inmates.
I've got all my certificates in prison, bro. I learned how to read and write in jail, bro.
It's rehabilitation, though how this is done looks very different depending on where you are. The Shimane Asahi Rehabilitation Program Center in Japan, for example, offers inmates a chance to partake in therapeutic community. These are group sessions led by psychotherapists that work to uncover the root cause of an inmate's crime, while using the answer to help redirect their lives. They sit in circles and role-play different victims and characters in their lives, allowing them to understand the impact their actions had on those around them. It goes a long way to keeping inmates from reoffending, which is important, seeing as Japan has a worryingly high recidivism rate of 48%. While some prisons trust their inmates to engage in programs freely, others, like Pelican Bay in the US, can't afford that level of trust. Though inmates here can engage in therapies and creative writing classes, these incredibly dangerous criminals can only take part while they're literally caged. Inmates are led into a room with these cages, and once they're locked inside, their handcuffs are removed through a small slot. Aside from the scary amounts of steel, class continues, with inmates using workbooks as makeshift tables for writing on. They receive worksheets, work from the whiteboard, and even submit their work at the end of their lessons. And you thought your school was tough. But some prisoners don't need the presence of a prison guard or a cage to work on bettering themselves. Over in the notoriously tough San Francisco Gotera prison in El Salvador, the vast majority of inmates are made up of rival members from the deadly Barrio 18 and MS-13 gangs. But instead of fighting one another, many opt to engage in the I Change program. Here, they learn to read, draw, study the Bible, and even crochet to help prepare themselves for a gang-free life on the outside. And in doing so, they've inadvertently made crocheting look impossibly badass. They've inadvertently made for a gang...
The original dude from that photo. Imagine if he saw this guy, he'd be like, the fuck?
Free life on the outside. And in doing so, they've inadvertently made crocheting look impossibly badass. My grandma is going to be so happy. So, given the choice, some prisoners are more than capable of learning from their mistakes. However, in China, learning is enforced in one of the most barbaric ways imaginable. Without warning, people are snatched off the street, shackled, blindfolded, and detained in one of China's vocational education and training centers. The name may sound fancy, but they're known simply as re-education centers. Re-education centers, or political education camps. And what exactly are these prisoners' crimes? Shockingly, it's just their religion. While China allows some religious freedoms, it's a communist state that is constantly fighting for tighter control of its citizens. So anyone showing more devotion to their faith than their country could find themselves inside one of these 380 indoctrination camps set up around the Xinjiang region. So far, it's estimated more than 1 million Uyghurs, Kazakhs, and other predominantly Muslim minorities have been detained since 2018. Without any kind of trial, they're forced to partake in classes about China's all-encompassing culture, which is designed to eradicate any religious attachments. But if the guards don't think the lessons are getting through, they won't hesitate to use torture. Prisoners are beaten, starved, psychologically tormented, and will only be released when they can demonstrate they have transformed their behavior, beliefs, and even their language. Somehow, I don't think just sending thoughts and prayers will help this situation. Well, after taking all of that in, which country would you...
That's insane. Yo, that was a dope video on Blaze as fuck. So y'all know what to do. Run the numbers up on this, bro. If there's anything else you want us to react to, make sure you drop that shit. The homie will tap in on some shit in the future. You know that? No blunt and shit. You know what up? Hey, mad love. Shout out to oh shit. Shout out to Carlo for sending this shit in.
Carlo B.
You know what it is. HOODROK Entertainment. Stay safe, stay dangerous, and we out.
Bye.
Peace.